Kimberly Kendall is a dedicated advocate for brain and mental health. Inspired by personal experiences with addiction and depression in her family, she brings a deep understanding of neurodiversity as a parent to a son on the autism spectrum who also lives with epilepsy. With over 20 years of experience as a C suite executive assistant, Kimberly is honored to contribute her expertise to CYBF and is a proud USF alumni.
Amazing. Well, it's so nice to be with all of you in South Carolina, coming by way of Nashville, Tennessee. But it is an honor to be here and share a little bit about the Change Your Brain Foundation and, of course, the Nemec Abbott Brain Health Scholarship that we have been monitoring by way of the Jonathan Foundation. So thank you so much for having us. And we're excited to get started. How is everybody today? Good, hopefully. I guess it's hard to talk back when you're virtual. We'll work on that. Well, we'll get started and I'll tell you a little bit about the Change Your Brain Foundation. So I came to the Change Your Brain Foundation by way of the music industry, which is an interesting dynamic and way to go from music to brain health. But when you hear my story, you will understand. And I do believe that everybody's story is powerful and impactful. And I have learned from being a special needs mom that you need a village. You have to have a village in this life. And I'm so thankful and grateful that we have created one for our son. Logan is 19 years old. We were told that he would never go to college, never drive a car, never graduate with a regular diploma. And Logan is a sophomore in college. He is driving a car and he more than graduated with a regular diploma. He graduated with honors. So I know that brain health matters because I watched it every single day of my life. I lived with it. I learned from it. And it has been nothing but a beautiful journey to watch unfold. So brain health is very important at my house, in my heart, and to everybody that I surround myself with. In 2022, I might cry because I am a crier. I lost my brother to mental health addiction and suicide. He was 45 years old, which is the age that I am right now. I learned what being a strong mom was because I watched my mom have to bury my brother. It was the hardest and worst thing I've ever done in my life. And if you've ever been around somebody who struggles with mental health and addiction, sometimes you don't see it and they mask it very well. My brother was one of those people, and I never understood Robin Williams until my brother. I received a phone call in January from my aunt because my mom could not talk on the phone. And she said, Kim, I have terrible news for you. And I thought it was my mom, but it was not my mom. She said, your brother is gone and your mom can't talk right now. So I flew back home to Pennsylvania. I held my mom's hand. We went to church. We had our service and we said goodbye to a person who had standing room only at his funeral. So if he knew how loved he was when he was here, I think about this every day. I wish he knew how loved he was when he was here because there was a line outside of the church. He was a remarkable, remarkable person. And that change in his life ultimately changed my life and put me in the job that I'm in today. I'm very grateful for that. So the Change Your Brain Foundation is incredible. We do a lot of great things, but one of the great things that we do is we provide mental health scholarships for children, adults, people who need it, who are really struggling, and they have no hope left. And that's why partnering with Lynn is always remarkable for us because she provides a lot of hope for a lot of people. I'm always very inspired by her because she's incredible. So you guys are all so lucky to have her. So we'll start with our slides. I'm long-winded. Sorry, group. So I'm Kimberly. I'm the operations manager of the Change Your Brain Foundation, and I have a big reason for being here. Obviously, I just told you, actually, two. My why is powerful. So this is Logan. He's very funny. He is full of spirit and a lot of energy, but he has autism, ADHD, epilepsy, and Tourette's. So a lot of neurological things are going on in his big, amazing brain. This is my brother, Nicholas. This was taken before he passed away. I lost him in 2022, and my life has not been the same since. And here is Logan now. He is 19 years old, and he's a college sophomore. He just made it to his sophomore year. So we're very proud and excited. So why brain health, everybody? This is why it's so much We have so much to talk about. It sounds so much nicer than mental health. I really believe in breaking the stigma of saying mental health because there's so much derogatory connotation that goes with that. The stigma of mental health runs deep, especially in our youth. I think about this shift often as somebody who lost a sibling and a parent as a child that was labeled special needs. We taught Logan to not believe in the fact that he's labeled by his diagnosis. He is a human being who has these diagnoses, but they don't define him. We have never let him lean on those as a crutch, and I truly believe that that has impacted the way that he has grown up and his future. I believe so wholeheartedly in that. I'm not doing great because I'm very nervous, you guys, so thanks for bearing with me. Okay, so the Change Your Brain Foundation, our mission is to end mental illness by creating a revolution in brain health. And how we do this is through our 3 pillars, which is research, education, and patient care through scholarships. The Change Your Brain Foundation is assuring healthier brains and happier lives for people in need. And that's what we get to do every day. I truly feel it is an honor and a blessing to do the work that we are doing. We were founded in 2008, and we are a tax-exempt nonprofit. Our 3 pillars are our education. So we provide courses and resources for people that are struggling with brain health. There's so many of them through Amen University. It is a fantastic program, and I encourage all of you to learn more about that. And then we also provide a lot of research. We have over 90 white papers. Dr. Amen is absolutely fantastic. And for those of you who will be attending the session later with him, you are in for the world's greatest treat. He is an incredible speaker. He's just a font of knowledge. And watching him do what he does every day is a true gift. We're so blessed to be able to work alongside him and help him grow this mission. Scholarships are my favorite thing that we get to do every day. So we provide scholarships and financial assistance to people who cannot afford the care through the Amen Clinics. And we'll talk about the Amen Clinics on the next slide. Or maybe it's 2 slides later. So we have changed a lot of lives through the foundation. We've raised over $1 million for clinical research. 15,000 students have been reached with brain health programs. 250 scholarships have been awarded. 51 research projects have been funded. 225,000 and growing SPECT scans have been done from the age of 9 months to 101 years old, which is incredible. And then we actually have over 90 scientific papers that have been published from our work. So 80 plus is true. Dr. Amen always says, how do you know unless you look? So the biggest piece of brain health is, do you really know what's going on? And sometimes people don't. So we offer these scholarships for SPECT scans, which will view in 3D format your blood flow to the brain. It allows the doctors to assess exactly what is going on, the areas of your brain that do not have proper blood flow. And then it really, really hones in the diagnosis process, which is absolutely incredible. And having this imaging really, truly changes the conversation. Traditional psychiatry very rarely looks at the organ that it treats. And here at Amen Clinics, we do look at it, which makes us different. We've built the world's largest functional brain imaging SPECT database. We're very proud of Dr. Amen for that because he actually looks at the organ we treat like you would go to a cardiologist and they look at your heart. Most psychiatrists do not look at the brain, which we just find absolutely mind-blowing. Okay. Removing the financial barrier to brain health care. So a lot of people worry that when you're in a position of need, mentally, how am I going to afford this? So we like to take that away from people. So the foundation provides those. We've got several initiatives going on, but today we are talking specifically about the PD region and NEMIC Abbott. And last year at this very conference, they were kind enough to stand up, raise their hand and say, we want to make a difference in our community. And they have donated 50 SPECT scans to your community that all of you are able to take advantage of, and we highly encourage you to do so. We're going to talk about some of the outcomes today. That's why I'm here. But we wanted to fill you in a little bit about what we do and why we do it. NEMIC Abbott Brain Health Medical Scholarship. This is changing lives in your backyard, you guys. We are so excited for all of you in the PD region. They are fantastic. We love Kirsten and Kiki, and we are so appreciative of everything that they are doing. So, with that being said, we have 17 active participants right now in there. And we have 33 scholarships remaining. The scholarship covers the comprehensive evaluation, 2 brain SPECT scans, a diagnosis and treatment plan, and 5 follow-up visits. So the normal protocol would be 3 follow-ups, but Kirsten and Kiki decided that 5 follow-ups is even better because it affords you the opportunity to ask those extra questions. If you need medication, it provides you the opportunity to talk to the doctor about medication and really, really get a comprehensive plan. So we're so appreciative and so grateful that they have offered those extra visits. It is life-changing. Currently, 17 people, as I stated, are in this program, and their lives are changing. You can apply at any time, and we'll make sure to send you the link. If you have a referral, be sure to refer them. But we are serving the PD region, which is Chesterfield, Darlington, Dillon, Florence, Marion, Marlborough counties. And it serves anybody struggling with, and these are just an overview of what they're seeing the most of through the program right now. But any mental health or brain health issue would be served. But anxiety, depression, OCD, early onset Alzheimer's, ADD and ADHD, suicidal ideation, autism, concussions, TBI, if you know anybody that's having panic attack or major depressive disorder, all of those things would be covered, and we are happy to help them however we can. We are recommending that they be seen in Atlanta and Reston, Virginia. Those are the 2 clinics that are closest to your area, but some people have opted to go to different clinics, and that is okay. It will just have to be approved by Kirsten and Kiki. So 17 people have been funded to date, 17 brain scans have been completed, 17 treatment plans have been delivered, and total scholarship value that we have deployed has been $85,000 so far out of the $250,000 gift. Each recipient walks away with a clear path moving forward for themselves and the people that love them. So here's the powerful testimonial that we're going to share. We had a gentleman call me on Christmas Eve. He did not want to live anymore. I do not take those calls lightly. I'm so grateful that I answered the phone, and I truly believe that God intervened that day. He had shared that he had lost all hope, and he had put his family on a plane and sent them to his wife's family's home. He was creating a plan. He did not want to be here anymore. He picked up the phone and called me instead after an email that I had sent him back and gave him my personal phone number. He is now a proud scholarship recipient. He has a better understanding of how his brain is functioning. He is working towards better brain health, and his family is still complete and still together. So 2 small kids still have their dad, and a wife still has her husband. This is the why we do what we do. This is why the Nemec Abbott Scholarship exists. This is why Lynn does what she does for stories and outcomes like this. This is a life saved and a life changed. Why this matters to us. So we really do need a radical new approach. 75% of all mental health issues in our youth begin before the age of 25. 32% of all adolescents have an anxiety disorder right now. 30% of teenage girls have committed or have considered suicide. Our veterans do deserve better. If any of you have served, thank you for your service. We honor you and we are grateful for you. $350,000 or 350,000 veterans, sorry you guys, I'm terrible at this when I'm nervous, have a sustained TBI since the year 2000. 16.8 veterans die by suicide every single day, and this risk increases for depression, PTSD, addiction, and dementia. Our senior citizens deserve better. 1 in 3 seniors die with Alzheimer's or dementia. That is hard to watch. I have watched that in a grandparent. 6 million Americans are currently living with Alzheimer's, and 2 times that are expected by 2050. There is no cure in sight, but if you do take them to our clinics, we do have preventative measures that Dr. Amen has put together with amazing treatment plans. Whew, we made it. Together, we can all change the world. one brain at a time, one community at a time, one person at a time. Thank you so much for having me today. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer. And I look forward to hearing all about your conference and everything that you have going on here. So thank you all so much for your time, for your talent, for your treasure, and just for being a community and showing up for Sweet Lynn, who is a mom on a mission. And I'm always so impressed with her. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Kimberly. Does anyone have any questions for Kimberly? Did you
I'm
hear that,
glad
Kimberly? Where might they find access to the research?
Oh, it's on our website. I'm happy to share that, or they can just go to www.changeyourbrain.org, and then we have a research tab right there.
Awesome. Thank you.
Of course.
In the back.
You also go to the website if you want to refer someone, or how does one participate?
Yes. Do you want to show Kimberly the website for the application?
I sure can. I would love to do that. All right, you guys. So here's our research tab. We've got scientific papers and research right here at changeyourbrain.org. And then for scholarships, if you are interested or know anybody who is in need, we highly encourage you to apply, especially in the PD region. But it's right here, the NEMIC Abbott Brain Health Medical Scholarships. You're going to go here. This explains a lot of what they're, your areas that are covered. Obviously, some of the things that we had talked about in the presentation that are covered. And the goal is to just make people better. That it's the most important thing that we do. But then you'll go down to the bottom where it says apply today. You'll click that, and then you'll just fill out this application. It will come right over to us. And then hopefully, fingers crossed and prayers up, you will be approved and we'll get you started on your brain health journey.
Thank you. I think we had another question.
Yes, ma'am. Wanted to ask a question real quick. Hey, as a veteran myself, I just wanted to ask a question that you posted on there, that you had the veteran numbers at 16.8. Do you have a source for that one? Did that one come from the CDC, or did that come from the United States Department of Veterans Affairs, or what? I'm just curious.
So my friend's husband, who actually is 20 years retired, he pulled that for me. I called him and I had him pull that from the Clarksville military base. So I hope it's right, because that's where I got it from.
I have a question. Although the scholarship is awarded to someone, a lot of our patients, they have a barrier with transportation and finances. Does this scholarship also provides transportation fees as well, or whatsoever for the patient to get there?
So typically, no, it doesn't. And I know that problem firsthand because we've watched people go through it. So what we do encourage is to have them apply, and then we can reach out to Kirsten and Kiki, and on a case-by-case basis, sometimes there is additional funding that we can secure and get, especially if the person is really in need. They want to make sure that they get the help. So we do have to go back to them and ask for that, but sometimes that is something that she can help with.
I'm a wife of an Army vet. If
Mhm.
he were to do this process and be accepted, do they communicate with the VA?
They do, yes, absolutely. You just have to fill out an ROI and they will absolutely communicate with the VA. So the friend that I got the veteran number from, and he told me that I could say this, he did give me permission. He is actually one of our patients. He did not go through the NEMIC Abbott scholarship, but he did go through the regular foundation scholarship, and they do communicate with his team directly.
Hi, I just have a question about maybe a helpful suggestion. I want to refer my parents, but
Mhm.
don't know how receptive they would be to something like that. So do you have any tips on how to share the information? You did it so eloquently that I understood exactly what you mean and why it's so beneficial. But if we're trying to explain it to someone who may be a little weary of tests, what would you suggest we say? Thank you.
So I think the way that I would approach that would be, hey, mom or dad, if you're having chest pain, they look at your heart. Well, wouldn't it be really cool if you're having some memory issues or brain fog or something like that, if they could actually see inside your brain and track the blood flow? It's pretty much a non-invasive test. It's not really, you do have to get an IV, which I know that some kids don't like that, but it's not complicated and it's not a very long time. I think it takes about a half hour to an hour for the brain scan. You do normally go for 2 days, so you would spend an overnight. But looking in the brain and just knowing that, let's say they had Alzheimer's or they're going through some memory issues, and they were able to know ahead of time, there are supplements out there that can help not stop it, but it can delay it. And what would an additional 10 years look like for them? What would an additional 15 years maybe look like for them where their brain is functioning at optimal health? That would be incredible. You can't get time back. So I think that's the way that I would try and approach it in whatever way works best for them. But I would just say, you can look at your brain, and if there is something going on, they can perhaps delay it with simple things like supplements, eating, maybe a medication if necessary. It really is a fascinating approach, and we can send you, there's videos if you go to our website, there's a bunch of videos and YouTubes and stuff like that, and Dr. Amen really describes it way better than I ever could. But I really hope you do apply, and I hope they go.
Hi, I'm going to piggyback off the question that you just answered, and I think you may have really answered my question, maybe. But the main thing I want to know is, when you have a patient that has, they have dementia, and you feel like they're ready to go to another home, how do you know? I don't exactly know how to answer. It's kind of emotional, but how do you know when it's time? How do you guys know when you can or cannot help that person?
Well, Dr. Amen always says you don't know until you look. I stand behind his message for that. I don't know how they know what to tell you other than, our doctors are very, very knowledgeable. I wish I were a doctor. I have a master's in public administration, but I do not have a MD. So I'm always going to defer to our medical team for that. But I think as things start progressing and they start struggling more, I believe in my heart that you'll know in yours that it could be time to look for additional answers and observations. You can also talk to their regular medical team, but I truly believe that our team, being armed with what they're armed with after having a SPECT scan, would be able to very clearly tell you, this is the phase that we're at, this is what we're looking at in the brain, this is the hemisphere of the brain that we're seeing blood flow in and the lack of blood flow in. And that could probably provide you some additional resource and potentially comfort, or, they could also give you alarming information and say, well, this is happening now and this is where they're at and this is what we think your next steps are. But they do develop a full treatment plan, and they arm you to be successful in whatever choice of care comes next. Hopefully that helps. I'm not 100% sure, but I can definitely call our clinic and find out for you. If you need more information, just get my information from Lynn, and I'll be happy to help you with that.
And just to tag on that, Kimberly, I know Dr. Amen would say, no matter where you are, no matter what brain you have, you can improve it.
Yep.
So the earlier you start to work on that, of course, the better. So someone in a later stage of dementia or Alzheimer's, you're not necessarily looking for full recovery, but you can optimize the time the person has left.
Yes, that is perfectly stated.
Yes, I have a question, and good morning to you.
Huh?
Wanted to know if Change Your Brain has any partnerships with any public safety organizations, example, police, fire, EMTs, or
I love it.
I'm sorry.
I love that you asked this question.
But my second part is also, if you have currently had these partnerships, if not, are there any plans in development with Change Your Brain to develop these type of partnerships?
This is my favorite question of the day. So we do kind of. So we're doing a big research study right now with firefighters who fought the LA fires. It's called LA Hope. We've put 100 firefighters through our program and our protocol. They are still going through. They're following up with their 6-month secondary scan. So we did a little bit different because it is a research project. And because of that work that we've been doing, we are working with a lot of different grants. Dr. Amen is very involved right now with the White House administration, trying to get brain health a top priority on their medical boards with all of their staff. and receive grants and FDA approval for our SPEC scan. So we're really, really excited and hopeful about that. But this research has been absolutely phenomenal for us to understand first responders. And so my boss and I just got back from a golf tournament that benefited the Gary Sinise Foundation. So we are partnering with them, and they do a lot for veterans, and obviously first responders. So yes, we are forming those partnerships and alliances right now as we speak. So we are in active motion with that. We know how important it is, and we love our first responders and our military very much. Thank you so much for asking.
Thank you.
Hello. I had a question about when applying for the scholarship.
Mhm.
Is there any exclusionary criteria, like anything that would disqualify someone from being able to accept the scholarship?
So for right now, for Nemic Abbott, the only thing that you have to do is be living in the PD region. That is the only, if you're not in the PD region, then they could potentially make an exception. But other than that, you are more than welcome to apply. They just want to see somebody who needs it get the help that they need.
Okay, great. We are extremely grateful for our partnership with the Amen Clinics and the Change Your Brain Foundation, as well as the Nemic Abbott Foundation and their life-changing medical spec scholarship program. You guys, some of you know, Dr. Amen has been with us as our keynote speaker for the past 2 years. The first year he keynoted for us virtually. Last year he came in person. And he has engaged so significantly in our work because he sees potential in what we're doing within the community here. For individuals who need intensive diagnostic and treatment consultation, the work of this scholarship and SPEC brain scanning is nothing short of revolutionary. But brain health is not just for those in crisis. It is for all of us. No matter where we are on the spectrum of brain health, we can improve it. And when you change your brain, you can truly change your life. In fact, Dr. Amen wrote a book, Change Your Brain, Change Your Life. He's written extensively. His books are excellent. I highly recommend them. The Jonathan Foundation is very proud to announce that we're now an affiliate of Brain MD, a subsidiary of Amen Clinics. This is a national pilot program for which we, the Jonathan Foundation, are the only participant. I've been meeting with Dr. Amen's chief of staff and one of his development individuals with Brain MD to develop this national pilot affiliate model, and we are launching that with the conference. So that through that, every one of us has access to the free online brain health assessment, which will provide you with an 8 to 10 page personalized report on your brain type and practical steps you can take to strengthen and optimize your brain. We're also building a team of brain health warriors to serve within our affiliate program. So if you are a clinician, a counselor, an integrative health practitioner, pediatrician, pediatric nurse practitioner, you have a clinical practice, then consider whether you might be interested in joining our affiliate program. If you or your business would like to join our team or any part of this work, you can scan the QR code or visit the Jonathan Foundation Connect RX table to learn more. So with the QR codes that you see on screen, the first one is going to take you directly to the SPEC scholarship program. We encourage you to think about who you know that could benefit from this very needed resource. I didn't share, but some of you may know that Dr. Amen, with his initial speaker fees, he donates his speaker fees often to the Change Your Brain Foundation, which is an extension of the Amen Clinics, essentially his foundation. And so that those funds can be used to provide these medical spec scholarships. That's how we accessed our first 5 medical spec scholarships, was through his donation of his speaker fees last year. So a tremendous debt of gratitude there to Dr. Amen for getting us started with this program. And then, of course, the Nemic Abbott Foundation has now picked up the responsibility for funding that, and we are so grateful to them. So those resources are available within the PD. Through the initial contribution of Dr. Amon and those initial five SPEC scans, we were able to serve kids in Compass Academy within Florence School District 1 that really, really needed the scans. These were kids that had been placed in Compass, which is, the Compass program is designed for those children who can't be in the classroom anymore. So they've essentially been put out of school, but they can come to school through Compass Academy. They're getting excellent care and educational services there. And for those that were having the more significant issues, we saw them go through SPEC scans, or that process. So we're just delighted by that and know that this resource has really been used for good within the community. The second QR code there is to take you directly to Dr. Amon's brain health assessment. And then the last one is if you are interested in joining as an Amon affiliate through our Jonathan Foundation program, we would love to have you. Kimberly, we thank you so much. I'm not sure she's already gone, but wasn't that awesome?
Thank you, Lynn. So grateful for you. You have created a beautiful village.
I appreciate you so much. You are a dear and special friend, and you guys have been such allies and supporters for us, both you and Jason there in the Change Your Brain Foundation. So you are awesome. We love you.
I love you so much. I'm so proud of the work you're doing. And if anybody needs anything, you know where to find me. Lynn, we love you. We are so proud of you.
So proud of you. Thank you. Good job.
Thank you all so much.